Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Joy and I'm a Nigerian immigrant living in Alberta, Canada. If you are new here, welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. So today I will be sharing with you my first week in Canada. I know this video is way overdue, but I will still put it out there, and please support me by watching this video and engaging with it. Do not forget to like this video, comment to show your support so that I will know that you were here, and then do not forget to hit the red subscribe button and turn on the post notification bell beside it so you can know when I post my very next video. And I have a lot of gist for you guys. Like in this video, so much has happened since I last posted. Life has been really busy, and I'm going to share with you some gist on this video, so do not log out until you are finished watching this video till the very end. I know it's been really long that I posted, and I hope to be consistent going forward. I will be dropping at least one video per week, so help me God. Amen. Amen. Do not forget to also share this video with your friends, and of course enjoy. Grab your popcorn and your drink, and let's dive right into how my first week in Canada went, and I'll see you guys in the video. Ciao. So this was about 3 days after I landed. It was still in the peak of winter and it was really cold. You can see me kitted up in my winter jacket in the car. I was going to Service Canada to register for my SIN. That's my social insurance number. You literally need that number to do almost everything in this country. Like if you are doing one or two applications here or there, they need your SIN. If you are doing an ID, a bank account, for bank account is not compulsory, but for your ID and so many other things, you need your SIN. We call it sin or SIN. Not sin in the Bible, just normal number. Right? I was going to get that number. That was the first point of contact, and then the next stop was going to be my bank so I could open a bank account. So let's go there. As my custom is, on this video I will share with you a few immigration tips to help you come to Canada, whether as a PR or any other route. So today I want to talk about the study route, not in depthly though, but what I just had to say is that if you are coming through the study route, make sure the school you're applying to is a DLI, that is designated learning institution, right? And make sure you'll be able to get a postgraduate work permit when you are done with your studies from that school, be it a master's or a bachelor's or a PhD, right? So that you don't waste your money. You know, international school fees is high, right? Not that you should not pay it though. Yes, you should pay your school fees, okay? But you have to make sure that you'll be eligible for postgraduate work permits when you are done, so that you can search for a job and remain in the country, unless you actually just want to go back to your country when you finish. Postgraduate work permit may not be necessary, but if you intend to stay in Canada after your studies, then you need to make sure that the school you are applying to is eligible for you to have a postgraduate work permit when you are done, and it also a designated learning institution, because those are one of the things that could affect your study visa as well. If it's not a designated learning institution, your chances of getting a visa, a study visa, may be reduced, just because they will be like, it's so obvious you want to jackpot, like you just want to jackpot. Right? So you have to have that information in check and be sure of that. Also, if you want to come through the work route, then you have to get your LMIA, that is the labor market impact assessment. I spoke about this on my last video. You have to make sure you get an LMIA job approved offer, right? One that allows you to have a work permit, and then you can now apply for your work permit and then travel to Canada. You can now start processing your PR. So the thing is that whether you go through the work route or the study route, if your intention is to remain in Canada and settle in Canada, then when you come, you can be processing your PR. Some people prefer to finish their studies first or work a bit first so that they can add that to their points. But if you're in, which is okay, right? You can come stay for 1 or 2 years when you have finished your studies, like your master's or whatever you came to do, or your bachelor's or you have worked for about 1 to 2 years, then you can now enter the express entry pool, right? That would usually add to your score. So some people prefer to do that. It's your own decision. But what some people do is, as soon as they come, they just go ahead and they just apply for PR. Because the thing is, if you have not finished your studies or you have not worked in Canada for a certain number of years or months, it won't really count on your score in the pool. So some people like to spend some time doing that so they can have Canadian work experience, Canadian education, and that one you won't need to evaluate it with WES or any other evaluation body, right? So that would usually help in increasing your points when you're applying for PR. However, you can decide to come to Canada as a student, that's a master's or PhD student, or a worker, come to work and you apply for PR immediately. The only thing now is that you'll be doing it with your credentials from your country of origin or your country of previous residence, whether you're coming from Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, Ivory Coast, anywhere you are coming from, Burkina Faso, Uganda, anywhere you are coming from. You will just use the documents from those places of origin. The truth of the matter is, even if you have Canadian experience and work experience, you would still need some documentation from your place of origin if you haven't spent so long in Canada, right? Especially when applying for PR. Because you see, for PR, they will ask you questions. They will literally almost ask you about your life history. When you get ITA, when you're filling your application to apply for permanent residency, they literally ask you what you have been doing for the past 10 years. Like literally almost everything, right? And then of course your social media and online status should correlate with what you have in your application. Otherwise you're just jonesing yourself, because if on LinkedIn or on social media I'm seeing that you're an accountant, you can't now come and tell me in your application, your PR application, that you're a doctor. Like, they're not even related. Not even doctor and nurse, but doctor and accountant. Hello, are you dreaming? So basically, those are the options I wanted to touch on today. I'm not talking so much about PR today. I just wanted to touch up on how studying and working can also improve your chances of getting a PR in Canada. So you don't have to punish yourself over, or you must get PR from Nigeria or whatever country you are in. It's your decision. But then it's usually easier because, I mean, you don't have to come and pay expensive school fees here as international fees, and then you have access to almost everything a citizen has access to, except the fact that you cannot vote or be voted for. Now, the thing is that in the UK, I think Nigerians there can vote. There's a celebrity online, well, I call me a celebrity, relationship coach, that moved to UK with his wife last year, and then this year he is voting. Hello. I now found out in the comment section that if you are from some African countries, you can vote in the UK. And I sure say this person no be citizen, right? So I assume the person probably came on a work visa or PR visa. I don't really know how the immigration works for UK. I honestly don't know. For someone who has lived in Nigeria for a major part of their life to move to UK last year, and by this year they're able to vote when they are not yet citizens, that says a lot. So they still used to rate Nigeria small, at least UK still used to rate us once in a while. At least they said that when you're from some certain African countries you can vote. Oh, that's cute. Here, it's your business what country you are from. My brother, go back to your country and vote if you want to vote, or if you want to enter into politics, go back to your country. So here, not like you can't do that, but you can't do that until you're a citizen, right? I basically spent the past few minutes talking. So now let's go to Service Canada. Let's see how it goes. You're about to meet a surprise inside Service Canada. Let's just go. I just decided to touch on that immigration pathway, study and work visa. That's just what I wanted to talk about today. Now, make we dey go Service Canada. Yes, my pidgin still dey intact. Correct Edo gay. You know, if you're in Nigeria, you go to Edo State for just 1 week, you come back a professional pidgin speaker, because now pidgin that they use Finnish people for that place. 247 pidgin, 100% pidgin. In fact, if they tell you come and interpret this pidgin online, you can even apply as a pidgin interpreter in Lagos, because hey, Edo State no dey carry last though. I know they used to say now Warri no dey carry last, but this time around Edo State we know dey carry last. Now we be the first all the time. Hello, are you there? So this is me in the building, walking to the Service Canada office. So it's not like the whole of the office is Service Canada, right? So it's a block of many other shops, restaurants, offices, and all of that. And then we just have the Service Canada office there. There are different branches all over the province and all over the country as well, where people can walk in to do their social insurance number and many other things that are government related. Some people also renew their passports there and many other things generally. So at the time at which we came, it was almost closing time. So we're getting there, say around like past 3, and then there was such a long queue. See, it's Service Canada. Very beautiful sign, but the queue was so long. We had to stand on the queue for almost 1 hour. It didn't get to my turn till almost 4 o'clock, which was when they closed. Apparently, they closed by 4 o'clock, and they were like, okay, we can only give you an appointment for another day. And they didn't have an appointment for the next day, they only had for 2 days later. And I was like, okay, let me just grab it. So I just took an appointment for 2 days later, like early in the morning, even though I did eventually use that appointment because I went I went to go and do it the next day at another branch, right? So yeah, that was basically how that one went. And we went back home. So this was when we got back home that day. I was still very much fascinated by the snow. See snow everywhere, looking like white powder. But it was really an amazing view. So this was basically the next day, which was my 4th day in Alberta, and I was going to another branch of Service Canada to get my SIN done. Apparently, it seemed like the other place had such a long queue. I wanted to try somewhere else. So this was me going there. And by the way, the weather was way better that day. Imagine me celebrating 0 degrees. Can you just imagine that? Me that I thought that 0 degrees was cold in Amsterdam just a few days back. I was like, wow, it's so warm. The sun is out and it's 0 degrees. Wow, so warm. At some point, I was even getting hot in the car because I was wearing my winter jacket and everywhere was kind of hot. It was like 0 degrees, which was not the regular -20 that I met. So yeah, this was me going to Service Canada again to go and try my luck to get my SIN. And I'm like, why is there so much crowd? For some very funny reason, I didn't imagine that there would be anything like a crowd or queue here in Canada. I don't even know why. I was just thinking in that direction. I was just like, oh, it's not going to be like Nigeria where there will be queue, but here too there are also queues, right? Yeah, so we were on our way to Service Canada on this day, and the weather was kind of chilled. In fact, it was a bit hot. At some point, I removed my winter jacket because, 0 degrees. And sometimes, the funny thing about this weather is that it can be shining like this. Sun go dey shine for your head, but guess what? It can be -35. I mean it. The clouds will not be grey. The sun will be shining. The sun shall soon shine. That kind of thing. That's what can be happening. But it will be -35, freezing. That's one thing about this place. So I was glad that it was at least 0 degrees, not -35 that will make it to freeze. Let us enter into Service Canada now. So this was me when I just started waiting. I still had energy to do video. Eventually, I got juice and a snack that looked a little bit like shawarma. And this was me when I continued to wait. Ladies and gentlemen, I was tired of waiting. My goodness, I waited 2 solid hours. What usually happens is that they have 2 queues, one for those who are walking in, while another one for those who actually booked appointments. So for example, I told you that for the previous day they booked me for an appointment for another branch. So if I had just come at that appointment time, I wouldn't have spent so long. But since it was a walk-in, I spent over 2 hours waiting. So for the places and centers that do walk-ins here, especially if it's a government facility or health facility, you will most likely spend 100 hours there actually waiting for your turn, right? So it's not, sometimes it's not only in Nigeria that those things happen. But if you book an appointment, it can be sure to be done in 1 hour or less. Sometimes maybe not up to 1 hour, depending on how soon before your appointment you get there, right? So not really for Nigeria where there be crowd, but at least there is no hustling and bustling while waiting for your turn here. There is no, oh, I came here first, I was here by 6:15, you came by 6:17. You cannot say that you are before me. No, they have a record of when you came. When you submit your details and everything, you will now be added to the queue, and that's what they will use when you are calling you. So after finally spending 2 hours there, I finally got my SIN. Like, I got it immediately. So there is actually an option to apply for it online, but it takes like about 10 business days to come. And I was like, I cannot be waiting. So the good thing is, if you walk into Service Canada, you can get it that day, which was what I did. I wanted to get it that day. I had gotten my SIN. That's my social insurance number. Okay, so flashback. A little flashback. I had created my bank account online. I called the bank I wanted to use and told them what I wanted to do. They explained to me the options that were available for newcomers in Canada. They usually have like some promotions they do for newcomers, which I just decided to just, make use of that. And yeah, that was it. I did that. I opened the bank account online, so I didn't need to go into the bank. Everything was done online. I was even able to download the mobile app and stuff like that. The service agents that called online was able to assist me with everything, right? So after getting my SIN, I went to go and get my Alberta ID. As at this time, my PR card wasn't there. Like, I just come in less than a week to the time I was filming this video, so my PR card wasn't there, so I needed an actual proof of identity. The Alberta card was going to serve as my proof of identity. So we headed to an Alberta registry, like a registry in Edmonton there, where I could register for my Alberta ID and my health card, right? Because sometimes you have to use the clinic or the hospital, and if you don't have a health card, then that means you are most likely going to pay from your pockets. But if you have a health card, I don't know how it works for people on work permits or study permit or study visa, but for PR, once you have your health card, you're good to go. But the health card doesn't cover medications. It basically just covers your consultation with the doctor and sometimes specialists, and also some tests. But if you need to get a drug or medication, you most likely need to pay from pocket, unless the company you are working with gives you pharmacy benefits. Yes, also the health card doesn't cover vision or dentals, so unless the company you're working with as well gives you those benefits for vision and dental, you may also need to pay from your pocket. So the health card was actually free, but the Alberta ID card has a fee attached to it. Apparently they prioritize health, so yeah, that's why it's free, so that even if you are not working, you can get the benefits of the health card without necessarily have to spend from pocket at all, or spend so much. Perhaps maybe just if you're spending on medications, then at least you're not spending on book consultation, tests, medications, treatments, all those kind of things. So yeah, that's what the health card is there for. But identification card, well, anybody can get it at any time. It's never really an emergency. You can just have your passport with you, and when you're ready, you can do your Alberta ID, right? But for health purposes, you may need to get to the hospital as soon as possible. So here they prioritize health, and that's really great because the government gives free health care. So yes, that is a plus here. So we had to leave the registry and actually go to the bank, because the registry did not accept a void check as proof of address. So I had to go to my bank to actually get a letter that stated that I have a bank account with them, and actually also stated where my address is. That is what they accepted as the proof of address. So I basically had to go from the registry to the bank and back to the registry. Well, while I was at the bank, I eventually just did some of the things I needed to also do. I wanted to register for my credit card, so I just as well did that. I had earlier scheduled an online consultation, but since I was now at the bank, I just kukuma decided to just do it at the bank. I'm basically still just trying to understand their credit structure here. In Nigeria, we're used to the debit structure, but here it's more of a credit structure than debit. But then the most favorable rule is that you would just spend what you know that you could possibly easily afford with your debit card so that you don't run into too much debt. Yeah, so that's basically it. And I went back to the registry and registered for my Alberta ID card and health card. They both came in about a week later. So we have basically come to the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video of my first week in Canada, please do not forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching. If you have watched up to this point, comment down below and engage with my video so that I can know that you were here. Share this video with your friends, and of course do not forget to hit the red subscribe button and turn on the post notification bell beside it so that you can know when I post my very next video. And then also, please let me know if you've traveled before, been to Canada before. You can put in the comment section how your first week was and how you are settling in. And I'll be posting a series of videos in the next couple of weeks. Please engage with my videos when I post them and share my videos with your friends, and always subscribe. Tell people you know, your friends and your family, to subscribe for more beautiful content. And I'll definitely see you in my very next video. Bye bye. Have a great week.